Hello everyone, you're joining me on the grid today at Spa for the latest round of RaceRoom's GT4 Trophy. Now, last time out in this series at the Nürburgring, we got spun out at T2 and we spent the rest of the race having to fight our way through from the back of the pack. To avoid exactly the same happening today, we're going to have to survive Eau Rouge and Radallon on lap 1, and it's not going to be easy because we're going to be slap bang in the middle of the pack. We're starting from 9th on the grid. Now, we're sticking with the Lotus for this one, but I'm really struggling to bring out the best of it here at Spa. Maintaining corner speed through those long, fast and flowing turns is proving particularly tricky, so we're going to have a real challenge on our hands here as the lights go green, and already we see several drivers getting handed drive-through penalties. There must have been a flurry of jump starts there, and among them was the pole position man, Tierolf, so that'll be one position gained at least, but we've got to get through La Source first. 3 wide, it's really crammed. We've got Tonda Savadil on the outside in the Audi. We did have Felipe Costa on our inside in another Audi. He's backed out, but it's looking like we're going to be hitting Eau Rouge. 2 wide with Savadil. We just got there first with our noses in front, so it's important that we don't drift out into Savadil's path here on exit. Oh, we've been tagged anyway, and again, there's no way we're going to keep control of this. We're into the barrier. Oh, we've collected at least one other car too. This is a big one at Radallon. And for the second round in a row in the GT4 Trophy, we find ourselves at the very back of the pack. Another disaster here. We're going to get one place back straight away. That's Thorsten Fuchs, who unfortunately was also dragged into that Radallon melee. Right, let's see what happened. Keep your eye on that bright green Audi at the centre of the picture. That's Savadil. Now he's on the outside. He actually gets pushed out even wider by Felipe Costa, and then the two of them rejoin, and there's no room for me. I get nudged out into the barrier, and then all hell breaks loose. Let's ride on board with Costa. You can see how far he comes back from, and he's going to run right into the back of Savadil. They both go wide, then they both rejoin, and it's me who gets squeezed out. So yeah, simple case of 3 cars just not fitting into 2, and I was the unlucky one. I think my biggest mistake was trying to get back on the track after I'd been nudged off. That wall was fast approaching and I had to try and get back on there, but maybe with the benefit of hindsight I should have just eased right off the gas and rejoined behind them. But yeah, huge crash, and that's where we tag Jacob Terry right there. But incredibly, Terry produces one of the saves of the season. He's going to get tagged right there. That sends him into a 360 spin at full speed down the Kemmel Straight, but somehow he manages to end up facing in the right direction, just grazing the barrier and gets straight back on the gas. Incredible stuff. And this Lotus really isn't handling well now after that shunt. We've damaged the aerodynamics, we've damaged the suspension. I'm in 2 minds whether just to pit at the end of this lap and get repaired, but I think I'm going to try and persevere and stay out. We're seeing yellow flags already, so there are going to be accidents. We may get some positions back, but also we've got at least 4 or 5 drivers who jumped the start. They're all going to have to serve slow down penalties, so there may be more positions to gain. In the meantime, we've closed right back in onto the Lotus of Felipe Fonseca. Now there's another yellow flag. Oh no, that's Jacob Terry. After his heroics on the Kemmel Straight, saving that spin, he's put it into the barrier just half a lap later. So we're up to 24th then. We've got Fuchs and Terry behind us. We've also had a DNF. That's what's given us the other position. And we're all over the back of Felipe Fonseca now. But the big question is, will this damage I've picked up prevent me from making a pass? The car is not handling well at all, so we're going to have to be 100% sure that we can make the pass safely if we're going to consider overtaking Fonseca here. So let's follow him in to the final chicane to end lap 1. The yellow flags are out again, so what's going on up here? It looks like there's a spun Audi at the exit of the chicane, and Altahan Dagan in the Porsche also ran wide. He rejoined right in front of us. We managed to anticipate that and tuck it up the inside of him. So we're up to 23rd. There's the Audi that's also rejoined, and that's Tonda Savadil, who we were tussling with into Eau Rouge a lap ago before disaster struck. So what can we do about getting back past Savadil for a second time here? Oh, really tricky getting the car out of the source there. It just wants to turn left at every available opportunity. We got right up on the rumble strip there, so we've lost a bit of ground on Zavadl coming through to Eau Rouge. I'm happy with a bit of space coming through this section, though, after what happened the last time. We've got a much better line than Zavadl, though, so it looks like we're going to close in on him. If we can get a bit of draft as well, we may be able to pull alongside and make the pass down the Kemmel Straight. Zavadl's going to go for the defensive line. We're going to go out wide. He's not going to make this easy for us, Zavadl, so we're going to have to take a wide entry into Les Combes. Oh no, the car already, I can feel it giving up. With this damage we've sustained, we just asked too much of it with our corner speed into Les Combes there. And for the second time in 2 laps, we find ourselves relegated to the back of the pack and 9 seconds behind the nearest car, Torsten Fuchs. Another disaster. Well, the reason we caught up with the pack so quickly was because of these 2 synchronised spins from the Lotus drivers. Firstly, Francisco Caramello losing it, and then right behind him, an almost identical spin. That's Felipe Fonseca joining Caramello in the barrier at exactly the same time. Then we lost Jacob Terry after his heroics on the Kemmel Straight. This time he loses it at much lower speed. Fast forwarding to the bus stop chicane at the end of the lap. 4 cars all jostling for position, and it's Tonda Zavadl in the Audi who's going to come off the worst, and it's again because of another nudge from Felipe Costa, driving right through him for a second time. Just behind all that, Dan Hagen missing his braking point completely. He rejoins, but we anticipated that rejoin and managed to tuck it up the inside, but then at the end of the Kemmel Straight, we carried too much speed into the corner, trying to go wide around Zavadl and pay the price. We'll rejoin the live action a couple of laps later, and it didn't take us long to close in on that pack of cars in front. When we rejoined after that spin at the end of the Kemmel Straight, we were 9 seconds back, but 2 laps later we've closed that gap down to less than 2 seconds. You can see how hard we're having to work just to get this car turned at the moment. That bus stop chicane is not pleasant at all. We have gained another position though. You may have seen it pop up on the screen, a DNF for De Winter, so that puts us up to 24th. And these 3 guys in front are absolutely battering each other at the moment. That probably explains why we've caught up to them so quickly. They are locked in a 3-way battle for 21st position. Currently we've got Felipe Fonseca in 21st, Thomas Engelhardt 22nd, and right in front of us, Alta Handegen. And Handegen is right on the back of Engelhardt through Eau Rouge there. That might cost him some exit speed, and we may be able to take advantage. We've got a lot more speed carrying onto the Kemmel Straight. There's just no room though. Handegen moves over to the left to get around Engelhardt, and that blocks off the only space that I had. We will pick up a position anyway though, because another DNF just popped up on the screen, Stefan Kellner, and we have got around Engelhardt too. I wonder if Engelhardt was serving a slow down penalty down the Kemmel Straight because he was really off pace on the inside. So we're up to 22nd position. We're right on the tail of Handegen now. But we need to learn lessons from the mistakes made earlier in the race. We don't want to push this car too much to get around the drivers in front. We know it's not handling too well, so we need to be 100% confident that we can make the pass safely. We are right on Handegen's tail now. We can pull out of the draft, and this might give us enough speed to claim the inside line into Pouhon. We're right alongside the Porsche now. I think we've done enough. No, we haven't, because Handegen fights back. He slams that door shut. He's not going to surrender this position without a fight. Fortunately, there was no contact. This is firm but fair racing. We're not going to be able to find a way around Handegen in this turn unless he runs in too deep. He has done. No, we're just going to leave a car's width on the inside line there just in case Handegen rejoins, which he does do, but we've still got enough speed to get around him, so we're up into 21st position. Okay, I think we've got the pace to clear off from Handegen pretty quickly, so the next target in our sights is Felipe Fonseca again. We're definitely carrying far more speed through that turn because we are visibly closing on Fonseca. We're going to be right with him as we approach Blanchemont. And yeah, it looks like he's well down on power. We're just going to have to lift off the throttle a bit more than we would normally do through here just to avoid running into the back of him. Now we've got no choice but to go to the outside line here. We've certainly got the pace to get past him, but have we got enough of an advantage to make the pass stick into the chicane? I'm going to go in really deep to leave him enough space, and we've done it. We're up to 20th position. Fonseca down to 21st, and I can see now in the rearview mirror that he's carrying damage. So that explains why he was so far off the pace on the previous lap. We should be able to start clearing away from him, or maybe not, because he's going to have a look up the inside into La Source. I wasn't expecting that. We're side by side on the exit. When I saw what damage he was carrying, I didn't think that we would be under threat for the position again, but we are. We're still side by side, and I'm worrying now that we're going to go into Eau Rouge too wide again. We've got our noses in front, thankfully. And Savannah in front's got a bit out of shape. He's lost the rear of that Audi, and he's spun into the barrier. That promotes us up to 19th place. In fact, we've gone up to 18th place because Rodriguez has just been disqualified. But in all the drama, we've picked up a slowdown penalty ourselves. We just drifted out over track limits on the exit of Eau Rouge. Now, I don't want to make the same mistake that I made in iRacing in my Formula 3 race last week, so we need to serve this slowdown penalty quickly. Thankfully, we've got a bit of breathing room behind, and we should be able to clear it. Yes, we have done. We're in 18th. Yeah, it was a good battle with Handagen in the Porsche. I thought I'd done enough there going into Buhon, but Handagen slams the door shut. However, at the next turn, he just runs in a little bit too hot. That opens up a gap. Now I'm on the outside, and I leave a little bit of space for him to rejoin, but we still had enough speed to get the job done. Then, at the end of the lap, we got around Fonseca quite easily because of his lack of power. Again, we left him enough space to get through safely. However, I wasn't expecting him to fight back at the very next turn. Fonseca making a move up the inside into La Source. Now we're side by side on the approach to Eau Rouge. However, right in front of us, Zavado gets it all wrong coming up the hill. He crashes out, allowing both me and Fonseca to charge by. There's just 2 minutes of the race left now, and we've opened up a little bit of a gap over Fonseca behind. It's now 2.5 seconds back to that damaged Black Lotus. We've also gained a position. The driver in 6th, Duarte, DNF due to a disconnect, and you can just see another DNF flash up on the screen. That's Torsten Fuchs. He was 2 places ahead of us, so that has promoted us up to 16th. Now, the driver ahead of us, Papa Emeritus, is 6 seconds down the road, and we're only going to get one more lap after this one, so it's going to be a tall order to catch up with Emeritus. However, we are going to get a little bit of a sniff on the last lap. As you can see on screen, he's carrying damage, so he's down on pace, and he's also going to lose control through that right-hander. Is he going to rejoin in time, or are we going to be able to get past him? The yellow flags have been cleared, so I'm guessing he's back on track. There he is! That 5-second gap has been reduced to 2 seconds, but we've only got half a lap to go. The checkered flag is already out. I don't think we're going to bridge 2 seconds on the final part of this lap, so we're going to have to rely on a mistake from Emeritus if we're going to finish in the top 15. Another thing that might help us out are the drive-through penalties that were handed out at the start of the race. Cast your mind back to lap 1 when the lights went green. We saw several penalties handed down. Now, I haven't seen too many drivers take them, and yeah, look at that. The alert's popping up on screen now. We've seen 3 drivers disqualified as they cross the line. So we're not going to get a chance to get around Emeritus unless he stacks it in this final chicane. However, we are going to get promoted to 13th place. And given how disastrously this race started on the opening 2 laps, we've got to be happy with that result. Yeah, we should have been so much higher than 13th, but given that we rejoined after that first lap crash in 26th position, we've got to be happy to finish inside the top 15. Our fastest lap in the race, 2:35.1. That's more than a second slower than the pace we had in qualifying. That's probably down to the damage we picked up on that Radalon shunt. But yeah, I really wanted to bring you guys a race video today with me battling at the front end, but again, it wasn't to be. Apologies for that. But if you do want to see me getting stuck in and battling for a top 6 position at Spa, I'd recommend you check out this GT3 race here from a few months ago. This was an absolute cracker. But you might want to cover your eyes for the last lap because it didn't end as well as it should have done. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. Please do let me know what you thought and leave a like, and I'll see you back on the grid again very soon. Cheers for watching.